The Lion King came out in 1994. It had such a cultural impact on a generation, still does to this day. I mean, kids that grew up with it in the 90s are now like showing their kids. I don't have kids yet, but when I do, better believe I'm gonna be popping in Lion King. You got this iconic 90s, 1994 original release Lion King VHS. Look at even just the cover art just brings you right back. It's so iconic. Let's open it up. Boom. That sound doesn't get any better than that sound. You just hear the plastic. Got the cape. We got the actual tape in there. I love it so much. I'm so glad I saved all these. I'll never get rid of these. It's all gold. I get beautiful original artwork. Even just like the backs of the cases bring you back, like all the images on the back. Little barcodes. The music, the animation, everything. It's just, you can't beat it. The irony of it all too is that it wasn't even supposed to be a hit. So I wanted to do Lion King for this first video as part of this whole like Rewind VHS discussion series that I kind of had planned. It was like known as the B picture between Pocahontas and Lion King. They're working on those two movies at the same time. You know, all the artists got to kind of choose where they wanted to go. Everybody wanted to work on Pocahontas because it looked like the natural next big Disney hit. So everyone thought that was going to be like the big success, and it did well. But like, I mean, Lion King was it blew everything out of the water. The group of animators, all the artists that chose to work on Lion King, they were known as the B team, and they kind of just rallied together and they pulled off this amazing gem of a movie, this legendary, epic, classic Disney film that's just larger than life, and it's had such a cultural impact on so many generations. If you're a Disney fan, like, you can't argue that Lion King's not one of the like most like iconic Disney movies of all time. I feel like it's pretty universally agreed on that like it's just an epic masterpiece. And so I want to kick it off with Lion King. Let's get into the music, man. We got Elton John. Between Elton John, Tim Rice, Lebo M, and Hans Zimmer, those four guys, man, they like, Lion King wouldn't be what it is without them. Between the four of those guys, like, the music was just so powerful. Everything that they all brought to the table. Man, I get chills still hearing the songs. How can you not? Yeah, the music's just so powerful. Animation is beautiful. The whole animation team just like captured like the African savannah so well. They captured wildlife so well. The animals' movements, like everything's so accurate and beautiful. I have such fond memories of watching Lion King as a kid, popping in the VHS in the living room. I'm sure everyone can relate to that, right? If you're a 90s Disney kid, everybody has that memory. Watching these movies just as a child in your living room on a nice, beautiful, sunny afternoon, like there's nothing like it, or falling asleep to it. Like, there's such warm memories that can't be replaced. And popping open that VHS case like we just did, like, it brings back the warmest of memories. Like the smell of like the VHS case, like the sound of like the tape, the crinkling of like the plastic on the case, like it triggers like sensory memories, those emotions. That's just such a powerful thing. But let's get into like a little recap. Like, we got this movie about a lion cub that gets framed for murder by his uncle. Like, on paper, like, that sounds pretty wild. No pun intended. Wild. Yeah, I mean, that's a crazy movie to pitch, but they did it, and I feel like it's actually the craziest sounding ideas on paper that are the best, and it's got to sound a little out there to be like unique and like different. We open up with that beautiful circle of life, the whole sequence, the animals roaming the African plains, the savannah, heading to Pride Rock to basically bow down at the altar of these lions that they hail as their king, even though they are all prey and they get killed and eaten by those same lions. They still have respect for them. That's the circle of life. That's what it is. It's respect. It's this mutual respect, understanding of the food chain, and it's captured so well in this movie. It puts wildlife, that like natural wildlife chain and like circle in a perspective in such a beautiful way. Especially like that scene where Mufasa's explaining the circle of life to Simba out on the fields of the savannah, and he's talking about like the antelope and how like we eat the antelope and become the grass, and then the antelope eat the grass. That's like the perfect explanation of circle of life, because it's so true. We start off with that sequence. We got all the animals going to Pride Rock. Rafiki walks up to Mufasa, gives him a big old hug. They're best buddies. They're college bros, probably like fraternity brothers. You can just tell in that embrace that they go way back. And Rafiki basically reveals Simba. He presents Simba to the Pride Lands, all the animals, as the new prince. One day, soon to be king. One day, eventually. And it's this beautiful, epic moment. It's iconic. Everybody knows that scene. It ends with that. The Lion King. Actually, it's more like a girthy, like the Lion King. And then we head into Scar. We meet Scar, the jealous, treacherous brother of Mufasa. He has something to prove. He wants to be king. He feels like he was robbed, and now we know the story behind it. I'm not going to spoil the movie, the live-action Mufasa that just came out, because it explains Scar's backstory and everything. But yeah, now we know what the real story is there. So it's kind of sad. But anyways, let's not. Scar's a bad guy. Let's not. He made the wrong choices. There's no excuse. I don't care what his backstory is. There's no excuse to what he did. He murdered his brother. There's no excuse for that. So we meet Scar. And he wants to be king. He's all jealous. He's talking to himself. He's kind of losing it. He's talking to a mouse before he eats it. He like captures a mouse. He's about to eat it, and he like has a full-on conversation with him because he doesn't have any friends. He talks to this mouse, tells him how like he's supposed to be king and how he feels robbed. And Mufasa enters. I can't break down this whole movie. It's gonna take way too long. Basically, first half we meet all the players: Mufasa, Scar, Simba, the whole Pride, Zazu. Simba grows up. Him and Mufasa have this unbreakable bond as father and son. Mufasa tells him how he's one day set to inherit the kingdom, except that shadowy place over there. And he points out a shadowy place in the corner. He says that's beyond their borders, and Simba must never go there. And he points this out to Simba. He says you can never go there. That's not their land. That's not their territory. That's the Outlands. And so, of course, what does Simba do? As any mischievous little kid will do, disobeys his father. And he goes to the Outlands, and he takes his little side piece Nala. I'm just kidding, they're best friends. He takes Nala, his best friend, with him to cause some chaos, get into some mischief. Zazu goes with him to supervise the little parrot, the little bird, kind of annoying. And they have the whole Just Can't Wait to Be King. Great song, such a bop still. They have that whole sequence, and that's basically a diversion to lose Zazu. And then Simba and Nala run off into the elephant graveyard, which is exactly where Mufasa told him not to go. He deliberately disobeyed him, his own father, because he wants to like prove that he's like brave. He thinks bravery is the only path to being a king, and that is part of it. But you gotta also be wise and smart and not stupid. You're not a stupid little lion cub trying to get into trouble, you know. So him and Nala sneak off. They go to this elephant graveyard, and that's where we meet the hyenas. 3 hyenas. We have Whoopi Goldberg, Cheech Marin, and who's the other? Jim Cummings, I believe. Jim Cummings, legendary Disney voice actor. He does Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, so many characters. I'm pretty sure he did Ed, because Ed doesn't speak. He just laughs like an idiot. Yeah, so we got the 3 hyenas. They come in. They try to mess some stuff up. They try to eat the lion. They try to eat Simba and Nala. They try to eat Zazu. They try to boil Zazu. They try to actually like full-on cook Zazu alive instead of just eating him like a regular animal. They like want to like get into like culinary, and like they try to cook him. So they get creative with it. But then Simba comes and he basically breaks it up. He saves Zazu. He's like, why don't you pick on some of your own size? And then they're like you. And then he's like, and they run after him. And there's this whole chase sequence in the elephant graveyard. And then basically they corner Simba and Nala. Simba tries to like scare him off with this like mighty roar, but he's a little lion cub, so he can't roar yet. So it sounds like this little like wimpy like kitten roar, like a cat. And they're like, do it again. That's all you got. And then he does it, and then it's like this like beastly like epic lion roar, and they're like, what? And then they get whacked, they get smacked, they get beat down by Mufasa. It was actually Mufasa's roar, and it looked like it was coming out of Simba's mouth. I still love that scene. So Mufasa shows up, pins the hyenas down. He's like, stay away from my son. That was pretty good, James Earl Jones. That was pretty deep, right? R.I.P. James Earl Jones. So yeah, he's like, if you ever come near my son again. That was good. Dang, I didn't know I could do a James Earl Jones impression. I mean, maybe it wasn't. You could tell me. But anyways, he pins him down, and he tells him, like, you better not mess with this kid or I'll kill you. And so they run off. The next scene is Mufasa taking Simba to the fields, and he basically tells him, like, you deliberately disobeyed me. He says that. I'm just going to do James Earl Jones impressions the whole time now. I'm just going to do Mufasa's voice the whole time. What if I narrate this whole video in Mufasa's voice? No, I'm not going to do that. He basically, he takes Simba to this field at night, underneath the stars, and he basically tells me, you deliberately disobeyed me. I told you not to go there. Why'd you go to this place, you stupid kid? Why'd you do this? You almost killed yourself and Nala, who's gonna be your wife one day. He didn't say that, but like Nala, there's a lot riding on Nala, because she's basically gonna be Simba's queen one day. And so he's like, why'd you took Nala there? You put Nala in danger, yourself in danger. I told you not to do this. Why'd you do it? And then Simba tells him, I just want to be brave like you. I just want to be a king. I want to be a brave king. And I feel like the only way to do that is to prove my strength and my bravery. And Mufasa tells him, like, that's not the only way to be king. Like, don't be dumb. Like, you got to be wise. You got to be smart. You don't go looking for trouble. He says that. He says, being brave doesn't mean you go looking for trouble. He says, being brave doesn't mean you go looking for trouble, as we tell Simba. Honestly, he was pretty soft on him. Mufasa, like, he's this, like, intimidating, like, big, like, huge, like, boss lion. And, like, everyone talks about how, like, he's, like, so don't mess with Mufasa. Don't disobey Mufasa. Like, he'll come down on you of this wrath. And, like, Zazu kind of sets it up to Simba, like, you're in so much trouble. Mufasa's gonna, like, basically strangle you. He's gonna kill you. He's gonna eat you alive. If the hyenas didn't do it, Mufasa will. Like, that's basically what Zazu, like, makes it seem like. Like, Mufasa's gonna punish him, like, this massive punishment. And he basically tells him, you disobeyed me, don't do it again. That's it. Doesn't even, like, ground the kid. He doesn't do anything. They start laughing, and he runs off into the fields with him, and, like, they start, like, wrestling and, like, playing around in the fields. So he actually rewards his bad behavior. Not to bash Mufasa, I love him. He's Mufasa, but now that I think about it, he, like, it's pretty bad parenting. Like, he didn't reprimand him at all. He just let him get away with it. But anyways, they go into this field, and they, like, that whole conversation just turns to them having fun and playing in the fields, which is a beautiful moment. So I'm glad. I wouldn't change anything about it. It's just funny that he, like, actually doesn't reprimand him at all. But I love the scene because it's so heartfelt. Like, they have this whole moment where he's like, Dad, like, we'll always be together, right? Like, you're never gonna leave me, basically. Like, we're best buds. And Mufasa's like, you know, Simba, like, life, he basically tells him, like, not in these words, but he's like, life's unpredictable. He's basically, that's the point he's trying to make. He says, look at the stars. Like, there's great kings of the past that look down on us. So basically, like, even if Mufasa, something happens to him, like, he'll always be there to guide Simba from above in the stars as a great king. And it's just this beautiful moment, and it really shows their father-son bond that they have with each other. And then we fade into Scar's domain, his little beat-down, run-down cave with the hyenas, and it's just this dark, dingy, like, little terrain. He basically gets into this whole song about how, you know, everyone needs to be prepared because he's gonna murder his brother, Mufasa, and Simba, because he wants to take the throne. And then him and the hyenas have this whole party, and it's like they throw this little rager, they break down into music. It's kind of a bop, but it's like this dark song. All the hyenas start just partying, and while Scar's singing this anthem of how he wants to take over and become king. It ends with them all laughing, and scene fades out. Then we go into the next scene where it's Scar and Simba is about to Scar tries to kill him. He sets him up. He's like, wait here, I have a surprise for you and your father. Yeah, Scar goes off. He basically signals to the hyenas to cue the stampede. They go after the wildebeest. There's wildebeest that are above this, like, it's like this gorge, and Simba's at the bottom of the gorge. The stampede starts. Simba's caught in this stampede. He's trying to run for his life. And then basically Scar goes to signal Mufasa, because it's all part of his planning. He needs to get Mufasa down there to murder Mufasa. He basically tells him, Mufasa, there's a stampede. Simba's in the middle of the stampede. You gotta go save him. He's trying to get Mufasa down there. So the next scene is Mufasa, Scar, and Zazu sprinting down to the gorge. Mufasa sees Simba. He runs down to save his son. And this is where things really turn up. He grabs Simba. He leaps out, puts him on a rock. He gets taken by the wildebeest. They come and they get him. They take Mufasa like a wave. They just brush him off of the rock, and they just take him. And Simba's like, Dad! And then Simba's frantically looking for Mufasa to see if he's anywhere in the stampede. All of a sudden, Mufasa leaps out. This heroic leap, glorious shot of the sun behind him as he leaps. This heroic leap out of the stampede onto the rock wall, steep incline of these rocks. Trying to climb up, Simba runs up on the other side so he doesn't see what's happening. He's just trying to get up around to the top so that he can meet his father up there. Mufasa makes it to the top of the cliff, all to see that his brother Scar is waiting there for him. So Scar's waiting up there. Mufasa's like, brother, help me. He's begging for his life. He's all relieved to see him, poor guy. He's relieved to see his brother because it's like, it's his brother. Why wouldn't he be happy to see? He thinks he's got help on the way. He thinks that his brother's gonna pull him up to safety, like any normal lion brother would. But nope, not Scar, because he's a murderous, cowardly villain. And he grabs Mufasa. He basically like stabs him with his nails. He grabs his paws, and he says, "Long live the king," in this dark and eerie voice. and he throws Mufasa off the cliff, and Mufasa falls to his death. He plunges to his death, and it's such a terrible scene. It's such a hard scene to watch still. Like you just see Mufasa like screaming for his life as he's falling into this gorge, off this cliff, screaming. And it's heartbreaking, and Simba sees it all because Simba's now watching. He didn't see Scar throw him off, but he sees his father plunging to his demise. Simba shouts out, "No!" And then like we get like the echoes in it. Everything comes to a quiet, comes to a halt and this soft ambiance, somber ambiance. Simba goes down and he sees his father's carcass on the floor. And it's a heartbreaking scene. This scene is like, it's still so hard to watch. It's Mufasa dead on the ground and Simba basically realizing that he's dead. He goes up to him, he thinks he hopes that he's playing around. He's like, "Dad," he's like he's holding back tears. He's like, "You gotta get up, we gotta go home. Come on." He's pulling on his ear. And Simba realizes, he cries out for help to whoever's around. He's desperate for help. He starts sobbing, he starts weeping because he realizes that Mufasa's gone. His dad's dead. And he has to face the truth. He comes to the realization, he just cuddles up next to him, still sobbing, weeping, tears of pain. And lo and behold, from the shadows, his stupid Uncle Scar appears. And he blames Simba. As if it wasn't enough that he murdered his brother, he blames his nephew for his dad's death. He makes Simba think it's his fault because it's all part of his treacherous master plan. He makes Simba think it's his fault. He tells Simba to run away. And then he sends the hyenas after him. Why did he even have to do that? Like, if you think about it, it's just extra cruel because if he was going to send the hyenas after Simba anyways to kill Simba, he didn't have to make Simba think that he killed it. Like, there's no reason for him to make Simba think that it was his fault. If he was going to make Simba run away, and he wasn't going to like have anyone kill him, he just wanted to like banish him and make him run off out of guilt, then I could see why he's like, "Okay, it's your fault, you need to leave." But he was going to kill him anyway. So like, on top of murdering his nephew, he also has to make him his last thought, and he has to put the last thought in his mind that he's responsible for his dad's death, and then he's going to kill him. What the heck is wrong with this guy? I just realized that. Stupid Scar. Oh man, I hate him. Anyways, so he gaslights Simba into thinking that he murdered his father, that it was his fault. And then he sends his goons after him. He sends the hyenas after him to eat him alive. So Simba's running. He tells Simba, "Run away, never return." And he sends the hyenas after him. There's this whole chase, like another hyena chase. They're really pushing these hyena chases in this movie. Simba goes plummeting he comes into a cliff. The hyenas are chasing him. He's like, the only way is down. So he jumps off the cliff, plummets into this thorn field, these thorn bushes. And he runs off. He gets out of the thorns and he runs off into the desert. He just runs off into this open terrain. And the hyenas are like, yeah, he's basically like, just leave him. We're not going to go into the thorns. He's basically dead out there anyway. So let's just let him go and he'll die on his own. And we'll just tell Scar that we killed him. So anyways, Simba's off. He basically passes out. The scene fades into like, I don't know how long after it is, how many days he was on his own on the road. But he's basically passed out in this desert. And then thank God for these guys, these two clowns, because we need some comedic relief at this point. Enter Timon and Pumbaa, the dynamic duo. They come in because the vultures come down. They're about to eat Simba alive, the vultures. And then Timon and Pumbaa basically save him because they call it bowling for buzzards. They like scare off the vultures and they save Simba. But they take Simba in. They teach him about Hakuna Matata. They tell him to let go of the past. And they're hilarious, these two guys. They honestly, it's comedy gold, even to this day. They're just this like unstoppable comedic duo. Nathan Lane and Ernie Sabel. Those two guys together are just gold. But yeah, Timon and Pumbaa, they take him under their wing. They teach him how to let go of the past and how the past doesn't matter. They give him probably the worst possible advice you can ever give somebody, which is when the world turns its back on you, you turn your back on the world. Just like the worst, absolute worst thing you can tell a kid that's like not setting them up for any sort of, whatever. But these guys are just idiots, but they're hilarious. They're like just like crazy, like fun uncles who just give you the worst advice. And these two guys teach them about Hakuna Matata. They teach them to just live life, no worries, no responsibilities, no rules. And they break out in a song pretty quickly. They bust out in a song, a whole song about Hakuna Matata. And they start shoving bugs down his throat. And they teach him not to eat meat and just to live off grubs. A male lion that's going to grow into a full-grown lion is going to live off of grubs. Only in Disney. So they teach him the ways. They show him Hakuna Matata. He's eating grubs. He's living life, not caring the world, no worries. There's that iconic scene where they walk across. They're singing Hakuna Matata. They walk across the bridge, like the log bridge. I love that shot. That's like one of the most, I feel like, beautiful and iconic shots in Lion King for some reason. That shot of them walking across. It's the transitional song of Simba growing from a cub to a full-grown adult lion. And by the end of that song, he's fully grown. He's Matthew Broderick. It's an iconic song. It's a fun song. It's still a bop. Simba's now a full-grown lion. And fast forward a little bit, Nala starts hunting Pumbaa. Pumbaa gets hunted by Nala. Nala's fully grown. She's in the fields hunting Pumbaa. And she chases him into the jungle and then is reunited with Simba. Simba defends Pumbaa. She starts fighting Nala. He starts fighting her. He's fighting a woman. She pins him down. And then they realize that they're each other's long-lost best friends from childhood. Reunited in the jungle. And cue, Can You Feel Love Tonight? Simba introduces Nala first to Timon and Pumbaa. They all meet and then quickly takes Nala off into the jungle to make love to her. There's a beautiful song, Can You Feel Love Tonight? Iconic Disney love song, Elton John. Some of his best work. I love that. One of my favorite Disney songs. One of my all-time favorite Disney songs. Beautiful sequence, beautiful animation, so romantic. They fall in love. They have lion sex that night. By the end of that song, Simba and Nala kind of get into it. Well, they already got into it romantically. After they get into it romantically, they get into a fight. Nala basically tells him, you gotta go back. I came out here to find help, and I found you, which is perfect. And this is you're alive. Everybody thought you were dead. You gotta come home. You gotta fight your evil uncle and take back the Pride Lands. And Simba's still so full of shame and guilt. He doesn't want to go back. He doesn't want to face his past. He doesn't want to face the pride. And he basically tells her, no, you got the wrong guy. I'm not who I used to be. She throws Mufasa in his face. He's like, you're starting to sound like my father. And she's like, good, someone should. And that really gets him. His eyes kind of get a little lively, and he kind of gets in her face. He's like, look, you don't even know what I've been through. Nala's disappointed that he doesn't want to go back and save his family. He runs off. He's like pacing. He's like talking to himself, like, I can't go back. What am I doing? He's like trying to like talk himself out of it. And he meets the delusional baboon Rafiki, his father's frat bro from college. Rafiki he's like telling him, like, I know your father is still alive, he's not dead. And Simba's like, what are you talking about? You're literally a crazy homeless baboon. And he's like, no, follow me, like, I know, I'll show you him. And Rafiki like runs off into like this like dense jungle, and like he's like swinging between trees and everything, and Simba's like trying to follow him, can't really see where he's going. Comes out the other end of all these vines and everything, and he's at a little pond, like a little watering hole. And then Rafiki like tells him to look into the water. So he looks in the water, and he's like, what are you talking about? This is just me, baboon. This is just my reflection. And Rafiki's like, no, look harder. And he tells him to like look, just keep looking at the water basically. And then Simba finally sees his reflection turns into his father's reflection. And it's a powerful scene, it's a powerful moment. And Rafiki's like, you see, he lives in you. He lives in you. Great song from the sequel, Lion King 2 Simba's Pride. They make a whole song out of that. And then right after he says that, Simba hears the faint rumbling of his father's voice in the sky. He looks up and he hears Simba. And he hears his dad's voice say his name. And he looks up in the sky, and Mufasa emerges as a giant ghost cloud in the sky. And he's talking to his son Simba in the fields. And he basically tells him, this is a powerful scene. The animators always talk about how this is the moment that they knew this movie was going to be something. It was going to be something powerful. Even from the storyboards when they were planning the scene, like this is when they saw what this movie really was, about a father and a son. And so Simba's talking to his father in the sky, and Mufasa's telling him, like, he's like, remember who you are, you're my son, the rightful king. You were meant for more than this. You're a king, and you need to take your place as king. You need to go home, and you need to basically man up. And he tells him he's got to go back. He's got to be who he's meant to be. And he brings him back to himself. Mufasa disappears. He's got some sense knocked into him from Mufasa, and then Rafiki knocks more sense into him when he whacks him on the head with a stick. After that, Simba runs off. He's going home. He's going back to the Pride Lands. He's going back to take back his place as king. And fast forward, Timon and Pumbaa and Nala go back with him. They're all there. They're ready to fight Scar and take back Pride Rock. Oh yeah, by the way, the Pride Lands are just completely destroyed, like left out to dry. Everything's dead. All the plants are dead. Everything is just dark and gray. There's no food, everything's no water. It's just like complete like wasteland now. And that's what Scar's basically turned it into. So he's just greedy, he takes all the food for himself, he drinks all the water. He drinks a lot of water if he drank up all that water himself. But him and the hyenas have basically taken over the Pride Lands, and it's just not the home that Simba remembers. He has this moment staring out over the Pride Lands. He confronts Scar. He finds Scar. After he sees Scar whack his mother across the face, Scar abuses his mother, Sarabi, and that sends Simba over the edge. Kind of give him the last little push he needed to just get down there and just whip this guy's butt. And he goes down there, he confronts Scar, he's like, I'm back. He tells his whole family he's alive, his mom can't believe it. And Scar's like, what the heck, Simba? Like, he didn't realize at first, he totally forgot about him. He's like, I'm surprised to see you alive. He looks at the hyena, he's like, what the heck? You guys are supposed to kill this kid. He like gives his little henchman a look. And basically, Scar and Simba get into it. But Scar kind of has the upper hand. Scar exposes. He tries to keep the lie going. He tries to like guilt Simba. He tries to gaslight him again in front of his whole family this time, the whole pride. And he's like, remember what you did? You killed your dad. It's going to come out. I'm going to tell it right now. I'm going to tell the secret. And Simba's like, it's not going to work. I put it in the past. You can't use that against me anymore. But Scar's kind of like backing him into a corner. He's like backing him over a cliff, basically. And Simba, he almost falls off the cliff. Scar kind of like lunges at him. He loses his footing. He falls off. He's holding on. And it's the same image. It's the same exact setup as Mufasa when Scar took out Mufasa when he threw him off the ledge. He's about to do the same thing to Simba. And he whispers, Scar whispers in Simba's ear right before he's about to throw him off. He's like, I killed your dad. It was me. I killed your father. And he's all proud of it. And it all flashes back to Simba in his head. He's like, it's all coming together. He just gets up there, uses all his upper body strength. He's pretty built. He's pretty ripped. I don't know how he got that ripped eating no meat in the jungle with those two clowns. He's living off bugs and he still gets jacked. So he's ripped, he's buff. And in that moment, he just like finds the strength and he just lunges back up over the edge and he pins Scar down. He's like, murderer! Scar's like, I killed Mufasa. And then everyone knows. It's all out in the open. All the lionesses charge the hyenas and Scar. And it's the hyenas versus the lions. Rafiki comes down with his little staff. He starts whipping the hyenas' butts, starts taking them all out. Scar and Simba go up to like, they have like a little private duel, little private brawl. And Simba gets Scar like pinned. Scar's like, basically like, let me live, like you wouldn't kill your own uncle. And Simba's like, no, I'm not like you. I'm not gonna stoop to that, even though you deserve it and I want to, I'm not gonna do it. And then Scar's like, he sees that as his opportunity and he swipes the sand in Simba's face to like get the sand in his eyes, and then he tries to attack him, he tries to kill him. Simba still gets the upper hand and Scar jumps onto him and Simba kicks him over the edge. So he goes flying over the edge, hits the ground. I don't know how he didn't die on impact. It was a pretty gnarly fall. But Simba basically won the fight, and then Scar's on the ground, and the hyenas, Scar blamed the hyenas. When he was talking to Simba, he blamed the hyenas. They said it was their fault of what happened to Mufasa and everything that's been going wrong. He basically blames it all on his little henchman. And so now fast forward when Scar's on the ground, after Simba kicks him onto the ground, they're pissed that they heard him betray them. Scar sees the hyenas and he's like, oh, my friends, like you guys are here, you're gonna help me. And they're like, what are you talking about? I thought you said we were the enemy. We're not your friends. And they take him out. The hyenas take him out. It's cool. They don't show it. They show like the silhouette of the hyenas like jumping on him and like eating him alive. So the hyenas kill him. There's a rainstorm all over the Pride Lands at this point. It's a rainy night, and everything kind of subsides. There's a calm that comes over the land, and Simba takes his place as king. And it's an epic moment, one of my all-time favorite Disney moments. The music is just so powerful. Hans Zimmer, that epic music plays. Simba's walking up, he's taking his place as king. Slowly walking up the rock as he's taking his place as king. Gives me chills and tears still every time I watch it. It never fails. It always gets the emotions going. Full body chills. Everyone's watching him. Timon and Pumbaa, all the lionesses, they're all watching. He gets to the top of Pride Rock. He looks up into the sky and he hears his father's voice, Mufasa. Remember. He hears remember, like what Mufasa said to him earlier in the fields. He hears it again. He says, remember who you are. And Simba's looking up at him. And in that moment, he roars, the mightiest lion roar you can roar. And he claims his rightful place as king. And the lionesses roar back and he's roaring and everybody's roaring. It's a roaring party. It's a roaring reunion. And it's a beautiful, epic moment. One of the best moments in Disney history and Disney animation, hands down. And that scene fades into, the rain fades into sunshine. All the beautiful plants, everything's lush and green and grown back. And the Pride Lands are back and revived and alive again. And everyone's rejoicing. We're at the coronation now of Simba, Nala, and their baby. And the camera zooms into Simba, Nala, Timon and Pumbaa on Pride Rock. Rafiki walks up with a little baby cub, holds the cub up. Simba and Nala's little baby girl, Kiara, as we know from the sequel, Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. And it's Kiara. He holds Kiara up into the sky, and she's looking around. She opens her eyes and catches her first glimpses of her one-day kingdom that she will rule over. She's destined for. And that's it. The title hits again. we get that Lion King. And that's it. We got a wrap on one of the most epic masterpieces of all time. Not even just Disney, in cinema history in general. It's one of the most iconic films. And it's affected the world, it's impacted the world, generations, culture. Not just one of my all-time favorite Disney movies, but so many people's. And I wanted it to be the first one that we covered here. And I hope you enjoyed that little review. But that's The Lion King. And thanks for watching. Hope you guys have been enjoying all the content here. I'm gonna do a lot more of these like review discussion videos. These like rewind, like 90s rewind Disney animation videos. There's so many possibilities. I got so many cool ideas. I'm so excited to keep it going. But this is just the first one I wanted to kick off with. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting and subscribing. And excited to keep it going. So stay tuned for the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay Disney living. Peace.